So very warm good evening to all of you and welcome to another very amazing and informative session on Shiksha. I am Bhagyashree, your moderator for this session. And today's topic, we all are aware of that. We'll be talking about JEE Advanced preparation. The dates are very nearby. So the session is very, very important and helpful. And I hope it will be helpful to all of you who will be sitting for this exams. And we'll also discuss about JEE Mains as well, because we have two very eminent panelists with us who are there to discuss and help you and guide you in the best possible ways. They're the best in this thing, and I think you will have the best of guidance today for the next 60 minutes. Okay, so firstly, I'd like to extend my warm welcome to RL Trikha sir. Sir, thank you so very much for taking out time and being with us on Shiksha's platform yet again. And we have Ramesh Bartles ji, again from Fiji. So both of them very eminent speakers, have been with us on Shiksha's platform before, and yet again they are here to help and guide you. So straight away coming to sir, both of you, and I'll just start picking their queries and not talk too much. So I think a lot of them have started putting in their queries. Okay, I'll definitely discuss everything. Trikha sir, would you like to discuss a bit about JEE Mains? There were two sessions that happened. So would you like to start with it, a few discussions about that paper?
I think I only have to say that now that both board and JEE Main are over, or it's almost going to be over, so there is no anxiety now on the students that they have to simultaneously prepare. That simultaneously word goes now. Now only you can see the bird's eye, and that bird's eye which you have to hit is JEE Advanced, and there is full 1 month left. So, and building blocks are same as I have been telling always. So all you have to do is that with background of preparation of board and JEE Main, you can easily target JEE Advanced, provided you keep in mind the following. Number one, this is slightly different cup of tea. That means, although building blocks are class 11 and 12, way of solving a problem is different. There will be tricks attached to it, number one. And number two, you have to have in-depth conceptual understanding. Most important is straight away formulas cannot be applied. So you have to learn practicing the problem in all the three subjects and apply the fundamentals. Once you apply the fundamental approach, you don't have any rota learning to coming to your help. So then you will slowly learn the tricks of how to solve a problem. And every problem when you solve, even from today onwards, for the rest of the month, when you practice mock test papers or when you practice past year papers, think that every problem is a new problem which you are going to solve in examination hall. That will give you the exam temperament and you will learn the tricks of the trade.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for that very important piece of advice. Coming to Ramesh sir, sir, would you like to tell a bit about, like, of course, as sir has mentioned, now the focus only is on JEE Advanced. Two very important exams are over, and now they have ample of time and that straightforward mind to just prepare, particularly on this exam, and move ahead. What would be your suggestion, like, and how was JEE Mains? A bit discussion about that paper,
Sure.
how well it went off.
Well, hello everyone. First of all, congratulations to all students who have cleared their 12 boards. Well, that's the first level of achievement you have got. And those who have also done very well in the JEE Main June attempt, congratulations to you also. Now, the JEE Main July attempt was supposedly to be taken by students who were not that good earlier in their June attempt, and those who wanted to, cross the barrier of getting selected in the top NITs, crossing the 99 percentile. So for them, I suggest they should have taken the JEE Main July attempt. And of course, as Rikas has already pointed out, the JEE Main and Advanced are two different exams. I'll say different exam in the sense, JEE exam tests students' comprehensive, analytical, and aptitude skills because it's designed more on concepts than just numericals. Here, the students are judged on their conceptual knowledge, the presence of mind, aptitude, and of course, what quality of questions they have done. So JEE Main, as I have already told you in the previous session, that's more about speed and accuracy, which student could have developed by solving the NCERT level questions and slightly But yes, this time we have seen in the June attempt, the mathematics subject had some tricky questions compared to the physics and chemistry subjects. And even, of course, in the July session, also students are facing similar kind of experiences. The mathematics subject has come slightly trickier compared to the physics and chemistry ones. Physics and chemistry were mostly NCERT oriented, and the maths was slightly above that. So it's a good thing for students because, however, the relative performance is what counts in the final score. So here I suggest students to take that as an advice and prepare mathematics seriously. The JEE Advanced level will be slightly better level compared to the JEE Main levels. Of course, because of the intermingling of concepts in various chapters, you will be required to go through, have sound concepts of every chapter. There may be few chapters which will be covered in JEE Advanced, but then those few chapters will have different concepts. And if a student has covered a variety of questions, they're focused on quality, not just on quantity. So they would be having a better chance getting good ranks in JEE Advanced. Of course, time management and all these things we'll cover up in the few questions coming up later. But then as of now, I'll suggest students to focus on JEE Advanced, doing good quality questions and keeping their strengths sound, because here this exam is more about how you're going to tackle the paper on the exam day. And if you have had good practice of good level of questions, you have maintained good quality notes from your institutions where you're prepared for, and if you have done good level of questions with proper time management, of course you will do very, very, very well in JEE Advanced.
I'll just add one thing.
Sure, sir.
He has my colleague has very nicely described that. See, it has been experienced not of only this year, even the past so many years. JEE Main mathematics is always lengthy, always, because the JEE is more tricky. Lot of tricks are required. Concepts merge. Here there is no merging of concept. So where they will try to cover it, they will cover in the length, that whether you are able to lengthy calculation. That is one. Second thing is NCERT chemistry is what is JEE Main. JEE Main, if you do NCERT chemistry, that is sufficient. Whereas for JEE Advanced, you require some additional help. That is FITGI or coaching material. Plus, there are some good books which we will come later when the questions are there. So that means it's a question of now JEE Advanced. When you do it, it's a question of now temperament, number one. Number two, practice. Unlike JEE Main, where the questions are more or less same pattern are there, here there is a different types of questions are there. Concept-based questions, passage types are there, linked comprehensions are there, multiple choice, multiple correct are there. Then numerical based, integer type are there, decimal type are there. So various bouquet of flowers are there. So your approach will have to be different for each question. Whereas JEE Main, it is flat. It's all multiple choice, single correct, except the 10 questions which are integer type.
Right, absolutely, sir. Just coming to another question, it's just 30 days, 28 days left for JEE. So, sir, if we talk about the strategies that you have mentioned, what kind of strategies is required now for these last 4 weeks, and how should they proceed in with that?
Very, very apt question, and I'll try to answer it.
Yes.
That our javelin thrower, he got first rank. So that means when the examination is near, you don't have to search for javelin. You don't have to search for your clothes. That means you should be already ready and fit for the war, which is going to start. So that means now whatever you had studied, you can't start the study now. You have to revise. So the following tips, which I personally feel, which will be very helpful for the students is, number one, what you have to do, you have already strengthened the concepts. If you have not done, please revise it, strengthen your concept. What is second thing? You have to practice not new type of problems, but the problems which you have solved, which you found tricky. And so now resolve it, whether you remember that or whether you fail somewhere. Third thing is, you have to attempt besides mock test papers, you have to attend past year papers. Why? Because from past year papers, you will know the distribution of marks across the various topics, across the various subjects. So you know which one to do thoroughly and which one you can just pass a cursory glance. I am telling a very important point. Students should note from the past papers what is the distribution of the marks. Accordingly, they should allot the time for that. So, and short notes, if they have not prepared, even today is not late, let them prepare formulas at a glance, concepts at a glance, short notes they can flag on the text itself, whatever that NCERT or the coaching material, so that they can have a quick revision. Then every day they should make it a point of at least taking one mock test paper or past paper and do the feedback analysis where they are weak. Wherever they are weak, let them spend a little more time to revise the theory, and then further test them whether they have already now relearned this topic or not. And most important, they have to remain fit and focused. When I say fit, you have to have a minimum sleep, have some good food habits, avoid completely this internet business and then this one, and be focused. And whatever little time you get, better you learn relaxation techniques. So after every 2 hours of thorough reading, relax for about 5 minutes, meditate simply, or watch your breath, so that you will become cool and calm. Last but not the least, they should prepare for the last day strategy. For the exam, how they will behave that day. Let them practice today itself. When they do the mock test in simulated conditions, then they will not find it new on the examination day.
Absolutely, sir. I totally agree. And I think all of you who are attending the session, whatever strategies both of them are sharing, please make it a note. If you forget, write it down somewhere and stick it in front of you wherever you are studying, so that every time your eyes are there on those strategies and it's there in your mind completely. So this is the time that you really need to focus on. So coming to the important topics for revision, if we talk about preparation and revision, which are the most important topics they can really focus on as in combined for like all the three subjects? So Ramesh sir, if you would like to take that question.
So, students have already been, in the habit of seeing the previous year's papers, as Trikas has already pointed out, that now you must practice, because practice is the key. And test analysis followed by every test paper is going to help you plug loopholes of your preparation. So my suggestion to you is that, especially mathematics, if you come to chapter-wise, if you see, trends have been that the weightage was given more to calculus and coordinate geometry in mathematics. So students, and of course, 2 or 3 chapters of algebra, of course, very important, vector, 3D, and probability. And even, of course, matrices is also has. So chapters of coordinate geometry, if you look at it, circles, parabola, ellipse are very important among coordinate geometry chapters. Calculus, if you see, functions, application of derivatives, definite integrals, sure shot, and you will get questions out of these chapters. And of course, all the chapters will be there, but then the focus will be majorly on these chapters. So students who have had a good command on coordinate geometry and calculus at least can expect 65% questions to coming up from these 2 segments of mathematics. And moving on to physics, if I see, then kinematics, your chapters of 12th class are very important. Electrostatics, current electricity, chapters of rotational mechanics, which is very important, rotational motion, and then fluids and modern physics. So here physics questions can be equally distributed from these chapters. And in chemistry, more important will be organic chemistry, of course. Physical chemistry questions will be there from chemical kinetics, ionic equilibrium, chemical equilibrium, electrochemistry. And in organic, mostly you'll find questions from phenols, amines, aryl alkyl halides, and polymers, biomolecules. And in inorganic chemistry, you can expect questions from coordination compounds, SPD block elements. Some questions on environmental chemistry could also be there. So this is how, the important chapters, the questions have been generally asked. So students should focus on these chapters. And of course, as also said, that NCERT is a very good book for organic chemistry. Students can take help of NCERT also even for JEE Advanced, because their good kind of named reactions are there, which is very useful. And you can expect some questions from there as well. And since JEE Advanced, you'll get totally new questions. Your concepts of each and every chapter should be very clear. Whatever notes you have made, handy notes, or formulas and concepts at a glance. If you have, you must revise. So maintain a study plan in this 3 weeks from now. You must solve the previous year's papers at least for the last 3 years, because solving very old papers will be of no use, as the current pattern of the questions, you must be good at it with proper time management. So solving papers and following a strategy for the exam. So every student should develop his or her own strategy. So you should not go by somebody else's strategy. It may not work for you. I'll suggest that students should develop their own strategy, considering their strong areas and let's say a strong subject. They can start with the subject of their choice, but take the paper in 2 rounds always. It is always important to save some time for coming back, reviewing the questions and solving the paper. Because if you invest 1 complete hour on one subject in the first go, you may lose upon some easier questions in the last subject. So it's always advisable to take the paper in 2 rounds, allocating 30-45 minutes in the first round for each subject and coming back and solving the moderate once again. So proper time management along with preparation is very, very vital.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very wonderful piece of advice, like for all the subjects. A lot of you are throwing in questions that how do we prepare for the last 30 minutes? So I think these are the ideal strategies and plan that you should have as of now for the next 4 weeks, definitely. Another common question, that I could see here students are throwing in is that some of them have prepared and scored really well in JEE Mains, like 90%, 95%, 97%, and they have really not studied too much for JEE, and they're left out with just 4 weeks. So some of them have been throwing in this question that how, like after JEE Mains we've scored well, so how do we go about and prepare for the next JEE, and what should our strategies, our plans should be for the next 4 weeks, since we could not focus more on JEE and we were more focused on JEE Mains, and we have studied really hard for that. So how should our preparation be, since we have scored well and we are going ahead? So that kind of confidence I've already built in. So how should they, figure out the entire thing for the next 4 weeks?
I think I have covered this point earlier, because when I told that JEE Advanced is a different type from the JEE Main, the question is already answered. If a person has not concentrated on JEE Advanced and all along the student has been serious only about JEE Main, then my advice will be now not to start JEE Advanced, but to start practicing mock test papers and past papers. At least he will have an idea that what type of questions are asked, what is the variety of the questions, what are the tricks involved, and then based on whatever knowledge he has acquired till today, he should be able to solve it. Number one. Supposing if he is not able to solve it, my advice will be same which I used to give to my students, that don't see the solution immediately, because past papers and mock test papers for all solutions are available. If you solve it, that means you are reading it. Reading does not make you perfect. With a pen, when you write and do it yourself, that makes it perfect. Let me now tell my dear students, unlike JEE Main, success in JEE Advanced is directly proportional to number of problems solved by you, not read by you. That means you will have to solve it, whatever little time is left, solve it yourself. Wherever you, let us say, you're not able to tackle that, see part by part. That means don't go right up to the last line of the solution. Go progressively and see where you are faltering, where you are missing the point. So those who have not prepared for JEE Advanced till today, that seriously, my advice will be this only, that let them at least see the formulas, let them see the concepts at a glance, let them see at least the revision part of the theory, each topic, each chapter, each subject, and then straight away go to attempting the mock test papers and past test papers. If anything, Mr. Bashli, you would like to add, please do it.
Definitely, sir. You've already covered most of the points. Students are generally confused at certain, strategies. I will believe that if they have practiced strategies by solving papers, that would be the ideal way. As of now, students, tend to follow a new strategy, which is absolutely wrong. So when I said every student strategy will be different, that means every student knows what kind of mistakes they are doing. Some student might have good skills of solving problems in mathematics. Some of them might solve good skills in solving like questions of chemistry. So I'll suggest students to develop their own strategies, because here that will play a very important role. After completion of syllabi, students fail to understand which subject they should start with in the exam, because in spite of having the similar kind of material with most students, they end up getting different scores, because here the students have not identified their strengths and weaknesses. So I'll suggest at this point of time, when they have already done most of the things, it's just time to develop the confidence, develop the strategy for the exam day. So when you're taking the mock test, understand from various mock tests where you're faltering and how you can improve upon it. You can take advice of your teachers who have taught you all this while preparing you for JEE. So they could be the right people, who can help you overcoming your weaker areas and plug loopholes out of your preparation. So I'll suggest not to waste too much of time listening to too many new ideas. Develop your own strategy, work from your notes, what you have prepared, seek help of your teachers and mentors who have been helping you prepare for JEE, and immediately rectify, because this time should be more on testing and analysis instead of starting anything new. And one very, very important point, do not buy any new books or do not start any new chapters. Consolidate on whatever you have studied. Have a very systematic revision plan, and very, very important, study all 3 subjects daily. Do not study in gaps like 10 days physics and 10 days chemistry. No, that will be the wrong approach. Study all 3 subjects daily and take one mock test paper, if not every day, every alternate days, so that you have, and in the timings of the exam, 9 to 12 and 2:30 to 5:30, because that will be the actual timings of the exam. So your biological clock should get used to that timings to taking the paper. This is very, very important. Students tend to study, late night and wake up late morning. So that should be avoided. As Sir rightly pointed out, this is time to take care of your health, hide the right fooding habits. Parents can ensure that, the kids are not staying late night, and they are healthy. They are consuming home cooked food, because if the body is not in the right position, your test will not be going as per your choice. So you have to ensure that your body supports you on the exam day. Your mind is fully active for both the sessions. So you practice taking tests during the exam timings. Set your biological clock and learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely. And that's wonderful pieces of advice that's coming in. And let's just pick some questions that I could see here. Sir, again, time planning, time management, Trika sir was also mentioning that's very, very important as of now, because this is the time to revise and just revise and, get those points clear in your mind, and rather than starting anything new. So a lot of them were having this question that what kind of time strategies or time management or a study schedule we could have for these last 4 weeks, and dedicate time particularly for each of the subjects. How do we plan out so that nothing is left out and the revision is equal for all the subjects? Trika sir, if you would like to take that.
No problem. See, very, very, just my advice to students is download syllabus, which already you might have downloaded. You know the chapters, you have the time, leave last 2 days, balance whatever 28 days are there, make a schedule, all the 3 subjects every day you should do, and equal time should be distributed. Only thing is, wherever you are weak, devote a little more time, and wherever topic you are strong, you can give relatively less time, so the total time is same. That is one. Second thing is, I will give a very sound advice to all my dear students, that this is the time you can start practicing the time management of paper, actual paper right now. How? When you have done the revision and when you take a mock test, every test when you take, you should know that a simple multiple choice single correct on an average should take 2 minutes. Please note, on an average, a MCQ single correct question should take you 2 minutes. Numerical based question and multiple choice question and that match the following with 4, it should take an average between 2 to 3.5 minutes. Now, my advice to you, when you start a question, if you are not able to solve it and you are not getting head and tail, leave that question after 40 seconds. Go to the next question. so that you don't lose the time. इसमें जिद नहीं करना है कि मैं देखता हूं मैं या देखती हूं कैसे नहीं होता है तू. That you do later. Right now your lakshya should be that you should clear this exam, and that is very important. That time management, when I say, this is the time management. When you practice, observe the clockwise clock time, that how much time you are taking for a question. If you are exceeding 2 minutes, you are already damaging yourself. This is one. Second thing, very important, is with children, they somehow, if they are not told, they will make that mistake. There are part of the paper, it is with no negative marking. There are some questions where there is no negative marking. Must attempt that question. Even if you have to have a wild guess, go for that. That is part of the time management, because here you gain time because you have anyway to guess. So that particular, those questions which don't carry any negative marking, you must attempt. And those questions which carry negative marking, don't attempt a black box type question. जिसका आपको पता ही नहीं है किस टाइप का क्वेश्चन है, तो उसको आप छोड़ दीजिए. So that you will maximize your marks and you will maximize your position. And now I am touching the brilliant, students. Those students who are vying for very high ranks. For that, my advice is, don't be selective. Do every topic. You may take a little hurriedly topic which you know already, but don't leave anything. Reason. You see the past year questions. You will find some questions where quadratic equation is mixed with trigonometric equation and part of calculus. So how can you leave something? A question unlike JEE Main, JEE Advanced will carry not only multi-topics, it may even carry multi-subject question. So that's why you should not be selective.
Right.
Mr. Bartlish, you may please add something.
Yes, sir.
No, of course, you have covered most of the time, like most of the things. And of course, one more very important thing which you said, equal time for every subject. Some students may be wondering how to spread this equal time. Generally, the exam timings are the most best examples from 9 to 12 and 2 to 5 to the 3 hour times you get. And you can rather add 6 to 9 in the evening. So you get 3 hours of 3 slots. Why 3 hours? Because your exam timings are 3 hours. You have to also develop the stamina to sit for 3 hours on the same seat. So you can also start taking reading the subjects in the 3 slots and 3 hours each. And as rightly pointed out, whatever syllabus is there, the volume divide by the time and allocate equal time for every subject. And when you find that some subject is easy, you can just revise the formulas and go ahead. And of course, on the exam day, reading a question multiple times will be wasting of your time. So yes, you skip that question. You must take the paper. I'll just talk about, exam strategy, because that is where I think students falter. So when you get the paper, you immediately have a glance on the questions and you start with the subject where you are more comfortable with. Okay, let's say chemistry. Some students find that some theoretical questions are there and they can gain speed out of it. So you start with something which you can gain speed, as well as certain questions, the easier ones you've identified. So there are 3 variety of questions in a paper: easy, moderate, and difficult generally. So easy and moderate, generally I say students should do it in the first round. And of course, if you have some time left, then you can move ahead to the difficult ones, trying to solve them. But ensure that you should not feel repent, or after the exam is over, that you left out on the easier questions. So this kind of repentance should not be there. So in the first 40-45 minutes, you allocate time for solving the easy and moderate level questions of every subject. And then second round, go ahead with solving the difficult ones, if at all you know how to reach the solution and you are having some idea about the concept. Otherwise, focus on that subject where you are finding the more solvable kind of questions. And of course, if you find questions where there is partial marking, attempt those questions carefully, because they don't tend to, because in MCQ, multiple choice, multi-correct, you sometimes partial marking is given. So don't be in a hurry to solve all the options. At least solve the options where you know the solutions and you're getting it. And because you can still score on those questions instead of not getting any question right. And even matrix match, you'll find questions. Sometimes matrix match, 3-column matching is also asked. So you have to be very careful in such questions. So questions which are consuming more of your time, but you know how to attend to it, you can take it up in the second round. And questions which are very direct and you feel that you can attempt it in the very first round, you should go ahead with it. So you have to attempt all the easy and moderate level questions in the first round, and then the difficult in the second round.
Right, right. Thank you, sir, for those answers. And I think a lot of you got queries about this. Another common question that I could see popping up here is about taking up crash course. A lot of them are asking about, is there any crash course? Should we take up any crash course in this 1 month? Is it advisable to go for crash course or not? They're like continuously searching on different websites. And I could see in chat also that they're looking for, is there any crash course that they should go? Is it ideal to take up for the last moment or not? So like both of you, if you can suggest them about this.
Actually, crash course, we already have we have advertised several times. We call it ICP, and that is for JEE Advanced. Actually, it is most apt for JEE Advanced. And there, what we have discussed now, what we have told, it is exactly same thing. That means every subject is divided into modules. That module covers physics, chemistry, maths. Brief theory is touched by the professor, and then there are question papers. And this is what we have been telling, that you do the question papers, whether past papers you do or whether mock test papers. The idea is, instead of now yourself analyzing it with the solution in ICP or crash course, it is the faculty who facilitates your analysis of the paper and tells you that these are your weak spots. And then process is same, whether you do it yourself or whether professor helps you. But yes, there are crash courses, and FITGI conducts crash courses. Now it is fag end. Actually, we have there is an admission test also is there for that, and there are very limited number of hours which are allotted, isn't it, Mr. Bartlish?
That the crash course admission test has already been done, and of course students can connect with the nearest FITGI centers in case the crash courses are going on for that center. And even if you if you're not able to do the crash course, you can get in touch with getting some of the test series, because the test series will help you have some kind of concept strengthening sessions. You can join a test series for JEE Advanced, and that's the finishing thing what you can do, because crash courses generally are meant to revise in a very short span of time, and those who have been already preparing for JEE Advanced, for them crash course will be a boost up, and who have not prepared in an organized setup. So crash courses will advise the students who have done a majority of the things on his or her own and want to get the FITGI advantage of getting the hands-on experience on the level of questions as asked in JEE Advanced. And you also get concept strengthening session post the exams, post the tests, which are on the actual lines of JEE Advanced current pattern. So these concept strengthening sessions will help you plug your loopholes out of your preparation, and this will give you greater confidence for the exam. So you can get in touch with the nearest FITGI centers in case you are interested for the crash course.
Right,
I
absolutely.
think,
Yes, sir.
Bhagishri, I can see some pop-ups near you.
Yes,
that
sir.
they are asking which online test series. So FITGI, it has got the technological partner MyPad. There we are already conducting. The courses are available for online test series. What Mr. Bartlish has mentioned, that we are conducting actually for JEE Main, it's already over. BitSat also it is over. JEE Advanced still it is continuing, and
Yes.
there are various packages are there. You can have short series, you can have full series. Full series consists of 17 tests. One sample paper is there. Then there are 7 numbers part tests are there, and 10 full tests are there. So it's a big, and 2 papers each. So it's a, very good platform for learning. So that MyPad, it's a technological partner of FITGI, and the students can, those who are willing, they can join there, and they will get the result also right on the platform.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So I think a lot of you had queries about this, so you can go through them and have a check on the crash courses available. I'll quickly move to the exam pattern, since a lot of you are asking about to discuss a bit about the JEE Advanced exam pattern and what kind of minimum marks in each paper is required. So Ramesh sir, if you would like to start.
Yeah. So, the exam pattern is like this. In each of the papers, you can expect questions of multiple choice single correct type, multiple choice more than one correct type. Then, of course, there could be comprehension followed by 2 multiple choice questions, which may have single correct answer. You get integer type questions, which are having, they are called integer type questions, which may have a decimal digit, maybe you can say correct to 2 decimal places. So when you are asked to answer this kind of question, you must write the answer correct to 2 decimal places only. And then, of course, you can get questions of match the following, which are called matrix match type, which could be 2-column matching or sometimes could be 3-column matching also. So these are the variety of questions you can expect, and it could be spread equally among the 2 papers. So you may expect comprehension-based type question in the first paper, and you may expect matrix match type in the second paper. So here, so you can say there is a variety of questions asked, and in every question there could be mixed concept questions of 2 or 3 chapters. So you don't expect a direct question from a particular chapter. So as far as rightly pointed out, you may expect question of quadratic equation clubbed with trigonometry and have some concept of calculus. So you can expect these kind of questions, variety of questions. And sometimes there could be a new comprehension altogether of a new concept, and 2 or 3 questions followed by that, where you might have to solve using the concept given to you. So this is how is the pattern of the paper. And the marking scheme is +4, +3, -1, sometimes +4, -2. So you have to be very careful in attending to the questions, which I said earlier also. And here students should focus on attempting the question which have more gain and less losses, because here if you are attempting questions out of hurry or in guesswork mode, you will tend to lose lots, because in every the marks count. And as you asked me about the cutoffs, generally the cutoffs as officially declared by the JEE Advanced organizing team, it's generally around 30 to 35% of the full marks. But of course, looking at last few year trends, we can say it will be around, out of 360, if the full marks is 360, it could be around 120, 125, around about. So 30 to 35% could be the cutoff. It may go low compared to the level of difficulty of the paper, but then for a top 10,000 rank, you should try to aspire more than 150 marks out of 360. For a top 100 rank, definitely 275 plus marks out of 360. So that is how I've given you the top 10,000 and the top 100 ranks. So the last year's rankers, first ranker got 348 marks out of 360. That's the highest what you can aspire to get. So that's the rank 1 holder should aspire to cross even 350 out of 360. Right. So these are the marking trends. And of course, don't compare it with JEE Main exams, because JEE Main has different kind of cutoffs, and students have also secured full marks in JEE Main, and nobody has secured full marks in JEE Advanced till date. So here you can understand the level of competency of the paper and the difference between JEE Main and JEE Advanced.
Actually, what my colleague has told, I'll just add one thing.
Sure, sir.
It is not the toughness of the paper which matters. Your relative performance matters. Yes. And very rightly, students have asked what are the cutoffs. So let me give you an idea further to what Bartley has told. That is, in 2015, subject cutoff was 7% only. 7 as against 10% standard cutoff declared by IIT. So 7%, but you have to get 7% minimum in each subject. And the total cutoff, instead of 35%, it was 24.5% only. In 2016, minimum cutoff, that subject cutoff was 10% only. But the overall cutoff was much lower, only 20% instead of 35%, because overall the paper was very tough. So 2016, that cutoff was 20%. 2017, it was what Bartley has told, standard 10% and 35%. 2018, it was again 10%, top was 25%. 2019, 10% and 35%. And surprisingly, 2020 and 21, it is the lowest, 5% on the subject and 17.5% only on the overall. That means you can see that it fluctuates depending upon the overall, that number of students appeared, quality of students, the paper, the toughness, etc.
Relative performance.
Why? Major. Now let me clarify why. Total intake, which has to go from JEE Main, is roughly around 2 lakhs to 2.24 lakhs. Seats are fixed around 10,000 to 11,000. And general seats are only 5,000 to 5,500. So everything has to come out from this lot. So they have to make up this number by this strategy, what I have told.
Right, absolutely, sir. Okay, okay, I'm picking up another question. Okay, I can see an interesting question here that since IIT Bombay is preparing the question paper, so of course, how are they predicting about the difficulty level of this exam? Because I had this question previously also, that how difficult it would be this time. And I could see questions here coming from Vinayak, and a lot others have asked this, that Since IIT Bombay is doing this time, can we expect a difficult paper? Ramesh sir, what would be your advice on this?
See, the difficulty level is again relative, as sir has already rightly pointed out. It can't be predicted before the exam. It is as every IIT, when they prepare, it's a joint admission board which organizes the exam. So it's not that IIT Bombay prepares a tougher paper or IIT Delhi prepares an easier paper. It's not like this. It's again the board which prepares a paper, and students should be open to facing any kind of paper. And we never prepare our students for a particular paper. We prepare our students on a variety of pattern-proof material, pattern-proof paper, so that students are ready with their strategy as soon as they get the paper. They don't say that this is an IIT Bombay paper or this is IIT Madras paper. They should be open to facing any level of difficulty. And finally, it is the relative performance which will count. So you should not keep this in mind that IIT Bombay has prepared the paper, so chemistry is going to be tough or maths is going to be easy. Don't keep this kind of prediction, right? But generally, the level of the paper will be good, okay, because it's an IIT paper, no doubt about it. So you should prepare on all important concepts, and whatever level the paper should be, it will be for all. So it's not going to be only for you, right? So any student should not face that, feel that this IIT is preparing the paper in the last 2-3 years. We have seen that this subject was difficult. They may change it, of course. Okay, so it's on rotation. Every IIT gets an opportunity. The top 7 IITs get an opportunity to prepare the paper. So any level can come. Of course, I can request Trikha to show some more light on this.
Yes, I would like rather to share my own experience. All India test series we conduct, and it is I will not say world famous, but it is famous all over India. There is no doubt about it. Even our competitors, they refer to our papers, and it is like Onida TV. It is neighbors envy and owners pride. So we are very proud of our AITS, and I can only vouch that every question is original. Every question is original. It takes 5 to 6 hours to make a mediocre question. Now let me answer the students in a different way. How we rate a AITS paper, let me share my experience. We use the artificial intelligence and we use the computer for that. There is a software which displays that this question has been answered by so many questions, so many people. These were correct responses, these were poor response, wrong responses, and how many have not attempted at all. That gives an idea to rate the question in the order of difficulty. So that is how we do it, and we determine whether the question is very difficult, whether it is mediocre, or whether it is easy. But let me share for the benefit of students that on an average, I am the paper, paper setter, they see to it that around 50 to 60% is mediocre, 30% is easy, and 20% is difficult. That is roughly the breakup. But then when children solve, depending upon the mood, etc., the computer may give slightly different result. But overall, it will be this only.
50, 30, 20. That's
50, 30, 20.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Coming to some of them are already agreeing to the fact that yes, they are tougher than actual JEE papers also. Okay. Yes, I could see another question from Faizan, and he has been asking that how many times is advised to spend first round, and how many minimum questions should be advised to attend in first round? So Ramesh sir, if you would like.
I'd like to take that. See, in the first round, as I've said, that allocate 40 to 45 minutes for the first subject. So, if you have an average speed of 3 to 4 minutes, you can expect to solve, if you are able to solve questions, of course, then you should be able to solve at least 10 to 12 questions in that timing, considering an average score of, let's say, average speed of 3 to 4 minutes. At least try to target 10 questions correctly from every subject. Because when I say correctly means you should be sure of those answers. And as I said, avoid guessing because there is negative marking in the questions. So target to solve 10 questions correctly from each subject. And in the first round, when you have gone through all the subjects, you will find at least you would have had an idea which subject is relatively easier compared to the other two. And in the second round, you can start from that subject. So this time, you can say this kind of strategy I've also told you earlier in JEE Main, because JEE Main, the questions are direct, but of course, even in JEE Advanced, you have to ensure you have some time to come back. And do not read more than twice any question, because you should know that whether you're going to solve the question or not, because if you tend to waste time only reading the questions, you will lose all the easier ones. So in the first round, target to solve the easy, definitely all the easier ones and few moderate ones. And if suppose your speed is slow, at least in the second round, again try to go back to the moderate ones and complete them in case you are leaning out on the difficult ones. So I'm sure that you should, if you're able to do it in this way, you will be able to solve at least for like 12 to 13 questions in every subject. So considering last year's pattern, if there were 54 questions or in totality in 18 from each subject, you should be able to solve at least 10 to 12. So you will get a good score, decent score, and you will qualify in top 5,000 ranks if you have done this way.
Right, absolutely. Okay. Eligible percentile to qualify JEE Advanced. Okay, I am picking up this common question again. They're asking like, is there any particular percentile or eligibility, of course, to qualify JEE Advanced?
Is it for from JEE Main to JEE Advanced or qualifying for JEE Advanced? The student is asking.
I think it's only for JEE Advanced they're asking.
JEE Advanced already I have covered. I have told that it varies from 7.5% to as much as that is per subject.
Yeah.
And per that is overall, it is varying between 20% to even 17.5% to 35%. But let me share, official figure is 35% overall and 10% per subject.
Yes. Right. So I think this is answered, and don't worry, this video will be uploaded soon. So you can always go back to the video and have the answers rather than if you repeat the questions. Okay. So I'll just quickly come to some other questions. Of course, they're asking about books, some books that you were mentioning that there are some good books that they should have and they can prepare or revise it from there. So if you could like to mention those books.
I think Mr. Bartlish has very rightly told, at this stage, we should not hunt for books. But if you are already having that, let me repeat what earlier we have been telling. That is, Rasanik Holiday for physics, it's a very good book, but not for solving problems. No, not for doing the exercises. The theory part is very good, number one. Number two, now the time left is so small, then you can see the solved problems and illustrations from Rasanik Holiday. S.C. Verma is a good book for practicing of questions. And if you have already not done that, some sample questions you can take, but it should be backed by mock test papers and the past papers. NCERT, anyway, it's a Bible, of course, but for physics, it is not that important as for chemistry. As far as physics is concerned, I have already told, and then in mathematics, Loney, S.L. Loney for trigonometry and for coordinate geometry, Hall and Knight for algebra, higher algebra, and I.A. Meron, it's a very good book for as far as the problems of calculus of one single variable. Das Gupta, differential calculus, it is good for theory. And then TMH you can take for, which is a collection of JEE Advanced questions. But I personally feel, because I am from FITZI, the study material is the best. That nothing to replace, nothing to beat study material. If you have done all the study material, say, for example, the study material given by FITZI is the chapter wise, all chapters are there. Then their workbooks are there, review booklets are there, 3 review booklets for JEE Main and JEE Advanced. Grandmaster package is there. If you do all that, I don't think that there is necessity for anything else.
In fact, I'll just like to add one thing. If somebody is really interested in getting everything in one place, and the Grandmasters package is a complete book for all, which includes short theory of every chapter. It's the only book a student should refer in the last 1 month, or I'll say 3 to 4 weeks, because here you'll find every chapter in a very crisp format is given along with formulas for every chapter and good quality solved questions of every chapter. Students should only follow this Grandmasters package and forget about any other reference books in case you want to revise in a very short span.
Absolutely. So I think you have all the reference.
I have left chemistry. Chemistry is that that NCERT is the best.
Yeah.
There is no doubt. But you have to have that inorganic chemistry, JD Lee, if somebody is having. I don't want anybody to buy the book now at this late stage. If you are having JD Lee, you can do some, strengthen your concepts. JDL is there. Then also I will say about that there is a Morrison and Boyd, Organic Chemistry. That is also a very good book.
Right.
Then those who like Indian authors, O.P. Tandon is good. Good. O.P. Tandon, you can refer to that. Physical chemistry as well as, so in a nutshell, I will like to say that more than books, the study material, your notes, mock test papers, and the past papers are more important than going to books for new material at this stage.
Right. Okay. So I think, Par, we have already taken up your question about high weighted chapters. We discussed about this in the beginning. So probably once the video is there on YouTube, you can like go back and listen to that answer. Okay. I'll just quickly come to some few more questions. PYQs, are PYQs enough, sir, if you would like to quickly answer that?
See, PYQs of the last 3 years are going to make it sensible to do it because they'll have the current pattern of the questions. Solving very old PYQs may not help. So it's advisable to take up last 3 years PYQs particularly, and they can refer to the test series, and which will have some new questions, All India test series. So not too many previous year's questions will help. It would have helped for JEE Main because some previous old JEE Advanced questions are asked in JEE Main. That page would have helped. But for JEE Advanced, very old PYQs may not help. Of course, from 2019 onwards, you can take up the PYQs of JEE Advanced. And do it in their time-bound situations. That is very, very important. Instead of doing it for 3-4 days, take every paper in one day in 2 sittings on the same day, and that is how in 4 days you will be able to complete 4 years of JEE Advanced papers.
Right, absolutely, sir. So thank you for that answer. Okay, some common questions about maths is coming around. Like a lot of them are asking that they are, while practicing and doing the mock test, they're doing a lot of mistakes, especially in maths, and they want to avoid these mistakes for exam and also increase the score in maths. So if you can share some tips for them to how they can avoid doing this silly mistakes and score well for maths.
For that, of course, I already told that when you do any paper, when you practice a paper, let us say you do a chapter, how can you test yourself? By a quiz. The easiest method is you take a quiz. Now you analyze that which questions you did wrong. Now you write the steps where you went wrong. Very important. Whether it is just you are not very careful. This is one. Number 2, you have read the digits wrongly. Number 3, you did not apply the concept properly. Number 4, you made a mistake when applying the formula. So when you analyze these things, you will know what type of mistakes you can make so that you don't repeat it when you take a retest. And you should do for every question. Wherever you have done a mistake, analyze, make a table, which type of mistake you made. When you take a repeat test means not the same test, similar test. When you want to retest yourself, avoids those mistakes. That's why I insist on one point, why you should progressively increase your speed and accuracy. Why? Because this is an exam where relative performance counts. So if your negative marking is less, you will gain over your peers. So that's why increase your speed as well as accuracy by taking tests progressively.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you, sir. Sorry. So I think a lot of you are asking about this particular session. So this particular session will be available on our YouTube channel. It will be edited and uploaded soon. So just follow us and subscribe our channel so that you get the notification. And I know there are a lot of queries that you might have later on, maybe after 1 or 2 days, and you want answers to those queries. So I've shared a link where you can always post your queries and get answered by our experts. So do not worry, please make good use of this page and put all your queries there, right? You will find all the answers. Okay, you will get answers to all your queries, so you can share that. Okay, so if you can share price package for Grandmaster, like lot of them are asking over here.
You can always refer to the FITGE website and
Yeah.
connect for more details on the Grandmaster's package. One question which I just saw, I would like to answer it.
Sure, sir.
What to do in the 2-hour break between the 2 exams of JEE Advanced? So here I would just like to add, you must take rest, focus, and avoid discussing the first paper with anybody. Because this is where, because the second paper, you need the equal amount of energy what you have done in the first paper. So consolidate, take rest, and get focused for the second paper. Do not go around here and there. Just remain seated in the place where you were, or be with your parents. Take some light food so that you don't feel hungry while the exam is going on. Energize yourself, meditate for a while, and go back with full energy for the second paper.
Very right.
Absolutely. So before we take up last few questions, I'm just launching the feedback poll for all of you. If you find the session useful and if you found all the relevant answers to your doubts, I know 60 minutes is never enough, and you still have a lot of questions, you still have a lot of queries, and you still want the session to be on and get all answers. But there are certain time limitations that we have to really bound in. So for that reason, I have already shared the link, and I would request all of you to please post all your queries there, right? Our experts will be there. They can answer you there. They can write down the answers for you, and you can get your queries on that page, right? Also, we will be coming up with individual prep sessions for subjects for JEE Advanced in the upcoming week. So please follow us on LinkedIn and keep a check. I'll be posting all the relevant links out there. We will be having individual prep sessions for physics, chemistry, and maths, and all the subjects. Okay, so we'll be putting up each subject session very soon. Probably in the next week we will have that, and I will be putting up all the relevant information very soon on the social media handles. So just follow us there and attend those sessions, because these sessions are very, very important. These are led by some very eminent experts who will be there to help you out in the last few revision days. And as sir is already helping you out and as already mentioned, just focus on your revision thing. That's it. I think that is more than enough as of now. Continuously, I think throughout the session, both of them have mentioned that this is not the right time to hunt for any books or new thing. Just focus on your revision. So meanwhile, you're filling up the form, we'll just quickly pick up last one of few questions before we wrap up the session. Okay, they're also asking about, sir, this one-shot coaching programs on YouTube, which I really don't know what exactly is it, but they're asking that should we watch that on YouTube? Should we go for it? And they are asking some suggestions about this one-shot coaching programs. Because would you like to answer them?
What is that question? Please repeat.
So they're asking about this one-shot by coaching programs on YouTube. Should they watch it? Is it helpful to them or not at this point of time?
No, I didn't get. Actually, my screen is blocked.
Okay.
I'm not able to see you, and
sir, is it fine now? Can you see us?
Voice is also not clear. Okay, just let me see. Now you can. Tell me what is the.
Sir, they're asking about this one-shot coaching program on YouTube. So should they watch it? I don't know what relevance it is, but they're asking continuously about it.
Whose program it is?
Sir, no idea. They're just asking about this one-shot coaching programs on YouTube.
Yeah, you see, maybe that since we are used so much to our own system, and we definitely, we would not like our students at least to go anywhere else. So I'm not in a position to comment because I don't have any experience of it.
Right, absolutely.
See, there's no coaching program which is a one-shot booster, because the JEE preparation is not a one-shot kind of a booster.
Yeah.
Students have to develop fundamentals, which is spread over 2-3 years or maybe 4 years also. So it cannot be clarified in a one-shot kind of a situation. One shot is good for your board exams or something like this, but for an exam like JEE Advanced, you need a complete concepts, sound knowledge of concepts, and it will not be developed overnight. You have to have good number of questions solved over the good span. Only then you can have develop that confidence to take up the exam. In fact, sometimes these very short programs also lower down your confidence level for the exam. So it's advisable not to run after here and there. Whatever material you have, focus on that. Be selective in case you cannot cover the entire syllabi, and at least focus on the important chapters what we have advised you to at least solve the questions from those chapters. So You can be selective in case you have not started any preparation and take a first-hand experience of your JEE Advanced. If you think you can do it, not this year, you can plan it, take a drop next year. But then this is not a short-term preparation, which is for JEE Advanced. JEE Advanced requires a lot of time, and it is done over a period of time.
Right.
I think I will just what Mr. Bartley has told, because I myself, I am not, I don't believe in this one shot, but one shot is basically for relieving the pain or maybe something, but one shot cannot work where dedication, hard work and a long duration, sustained effort is required. What one shot will do?
Absolutely.
Right. I totally agree to you, sir.
Journey cannot be replaced by one shot. It's a journey.
Okay. So just last one question I can pick up before we wrap up. Like some of them have just asked that there are few chapters that they are not very strong enough, that they're not very, well prepared, and they left them for main examinations as well. They could not prepare. So should they go for those chapters that are left out for JEE Advanced and get it clear right now, or should they just focus on revision and do not touch those chapters that are already left out?
See, if those chapters are a part of the majority section of the paper, let's say if they are chapters of calculus or coordinate geometry in maths, if I talk about, so they should try to cover it, because there will be mixed concept questions. At least they should do the easier level questions from those chapters. They should not be entirely unaware about those questions. But yes, good level of practice if they have not done, and direct question coming from those chapters, then they should avoid that in the exam. But if there are mixed concept level questions, they should be aware about questions to the level of JEE Main. So at least I will suggest that they should go back and take up questions of JEE Main level from those chapters, so that in case a mixed concept question has come, they should be able to understand that question. So
in other words, I think I totally agree with him. In other words, what is required for those chapters which have been left, at least there you can be selective. Selective means you go through the formulas, you go through the concepts at a glance, so see the solved problems, and similarly past papers, similar questions which have come from those chapters. Please see that if you are lucky, you may get a similar question.
Right, sir.
But that kind of effort you can't put now because you have left the chapters. But this may work for you. If you are very lucky, you may get a question of your this one.
Absolutely.
Right, absolutely, sir. So I think it's time to wrap up the session. I know we can go on and on. We can still have a lot of discussions. But for any left out queries, just post all your queries on this page that I've shared. The video will be there. Do not worry. I'm getting your questions that where will we find this video? Will we get a recording or not? The entire video will be uploaded soon on our YouTube channel. So you can always go back any point of time and refer to the video, listen to all the points, all the strategies and tips that have been shared before the exam. So just don't worry, the entire video will be there for you soon, right? And we'll be coming up with individual sessions for JEE Advanced for the next coming week, so that you have one session dedicatedly for each subject where you can have all your queries solved. Because I know subject wise, you might have a lot of individual questions. So we might pick up those queries in those individual sessions, right? So this session was all about the last kind of 30 days preparation, but we'll have more sessions for JEE Advanced before the exams. We'll have another last minute preparation session also. So probably we can pick up more questions in that. And Trikha sir, Ramesh sir, thank you so very much. I think the sessions with both of you are always very amazing, very informative and very practical. Students get so much of information and knowledge, and I think that really works for them for their exams. So one last piece of advice that both of you would like to give to all our aspirants.
So we'll begin.
Be focused, be Arjuna, look at only the bird's eye, not the friends, not parents, not trees, nothing, no scenery, only focus at your exam and do the dedicated, and then practice meditation. I'm telling you, meditation doesn't mean that religion. Meditation means nothing but art of concentration. Just concentrate on the problem which you are solving with deep concentration. You will have the solution, I rest assure you. I have done it myself. I got the solution in the pitch of night in a dream for some of the questions which were haunting me. So that is the amount of concentration. That is meditation.
Right, absolutely, sir. And Ramesh, sir, what would you like to advise them?
One simple thing, believe in yourself. On the day of the exam, go focused. Believe in yourself, believe in your preparation, believe in your mentors, take the blessings of your parents, your teachers, your well-wishers, and remain focused throughout the last question of the exam, because that is where you have to go for the kill, because the entire 6 hours of paper will decide your fate. So dream big and ensure that you do not leave anything out, because there should be no bit of repentance after the exam is over. You should have given your 100% and do all questions you have done, and do not miss out on any easy question. So grab as many marks as possible, good with full energy, remain hydrated. In breaks, you can have some kind of juice instead of having too much of food. So just to ensure that you are giving your 100%, keep your confidence throughout the exam. All the best from my side and entire FITGI team. Thank you.
Absolutely, and all the best to all the students. I hope you fare very well and attend all our sessions and make good use of these sessions and really practice well and focus. And thank you so much, both our eminent panelists, for being here. And we're looking forward to more such sessions with both of you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. All the best.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel.